The story of the Internship, 2026, begins with a young woman whose entire life has been shaped by secrecy, discipline, and violence. From a very young age, she is taken into a classified government program designed to train elite operatives. This program operates in complete secrecy, hidden from the public and even from most government officials. The children recruited into it are raised not as normal citizens, but as weapons. The main character grows up believing that her training is a form of service and honor. She is taught combat, intelligence gathering, psychological manipulation, and survival skills. Emotional attachment is discouraged, and personal identity is stripped away. By the time she reaches adulthood, she is one of the most capable operatives the program has ever produced. To the outside world, the program appears harmless. It is disguised as an internship initiative that recruits talented individuals for national service. In reality, it is a brutal system that exploits young minds and turns them into assassins under the control of the CIA. As the main character becomes more experienced, she begins to notice inconsistencies. Missions are labeled as defensive operations, but the results leave innocent people dead. Classified reports are altered, and information is deliberately hidden from the trainees. Slowly, doubt begins to replace loyalty. During a critical assignment, she uncovers evidence that the organization she serves has been responsible for illegal operations, political assassinations, and the elimination of whistleblowers. What disturbs her most is the realization that many of the victims were connected to former interns who tried to leave the program. This discovery changes everything. The main character realizes that the program was never meant to create protectors. It was designed to create obedient killers who could be erased if they became inconvenient. The truth forces her to question her own past actions and the lives she has destroyed without ever knowing the full story. As she secretly investigates further, she reconnects with other former interns who survived the program. Many of them are broken, hiding, or living under false identities. They all share the same fear. The organization never truly lets anyone go. Together, they uncover the full scale of the program's corruption. The internship is not just training operatives. It is a cycle of recruitment, manipulation, and disposal. Anyone who threatens to expose it is hunted down. The main character makes a dangerous decision. Instead of running, she chooses to fight back. Using the very skills the program gave her, she begins planning the destruction of the organization from within. This marks the beginning of a violent and relentless conflict between the former interns and the CIA-backed system that created them. As the story progresses, the CIA becomes aware of the threat. What follows is a deadly game of intelligence, betrayal, and survival. The organization deploys its best agents to eliminate the defectors, turning cities into silent battlefields. By the end of this part of the story, the audience understands that the internship is not just an action thriller. It is a dark exploration of control, identity, and the cost of blind obedience. The stage is set for a brutal confrontation between those who were trained to kill and the system that made them that way. After deciding to turn against the organization, the main character begins operating in complete secrecy. She understands the system better than anyone else because it raised her. Every surveillance pattern, every tracking method, and every psychological tactic used by the program is familiar to her. This knowledge becomes her greatest weapon. She starts by erasing her digital footprint. Safe houses, coded communication, and false identities become part of her daily routine. At the same time, she secretly contacts former interns who disappeared after completing their service. Some of them believed they had escaped. Others knew they were being hunted. All of them share the same trauma and fear. As the group grows, it becomes clear that the program was far larger than any of them imagined. The internship has been running for decades, recruiting children from broken families, conflict zones, and undocumented backgrounds. Their pasts were erased to ensure complete control. The CIA justified this as national security, but the reality was exploitation on a massive scale. Meanwhile, the CIA begins to notice unusual activity. Internal systems are breached, classified files are leaked, and off-the-record operations are exposed. High-ranking officials realize that the threat is not external terrorism, but their own creation turning against them. To stop the damage, the agency activates a special counter-unit made up of elite operatives who were trained in the same program years earlier. Unlike the defectors, these operatives remain loyal to the system. They believe betrayal is worse than murder, and they see the former interns as dangerous liabilities. The story now becomes a deadly chase. Across multiple cities, former interns are hunted down one by one. Some are captured. Some are killed. Every loss strengthens the resolve of the survivors. The main character realizes that exposure alone will not destroy the program. The system is too powerful, too deeply embedded. She shifts her strategy from escape to destruction. Instead of attacking operatives, she targets the structure itself. Financial pipelines, secret facilities, and recruitment channels are systematically dismantled. Each strike weakens the organization's ability to operate in silence. At the same time, the emotional cost of the mission becomes heavier. The main character is forced to confront the reality that many of the people hunting her were once victims just like her. The difference is not skill or intelligence, but obedience. This realization adds moral complexity to every confrontation. As pressure increases, the CIA leadership makes a critical mistake. They underestimate how far the former interns are willing to go. What they see as a rogue rebellion is actually a coordinated uprising built on shared trauma and insider knowledge. The second half of the story reveals that the internship was never meant to end. Each generation was designed to replace the previous one. Loyalty was rewarded, and doubt was eliminated. By turning against the system, the main character threatens to collapse an entire cycle of control. By the end of this part, the conflict reaches a global scale. Governments begin asking questions. Intelligence agencies turn on each other. What started as a hidden program becomes an international liability. The main character knows the final phase is approaching. There will be no escape, no new identity, and no clean ending. The only remaining choice is whether the truth will survive, even if she does not. As the conflict reaches its final stage, the main character understands that destroying fragments of the system is no longer enough. The internship program is protected by layers of political influence, classified authority, and silent cooperation between agencies. If it is to fall, the exposure must be undeniable and permanent. She identifies the core facility where the program began years ago. This location is not just a training ground but a data vault containing records of every child recruited, every mission conducted, and every operative eliminated for disobedience. The facility represents the heart of the system. Bringing it down would mean erasing the organization's ability to deny its existence. With only a small group of surviving former interns left, the mission becomes a final operation with no expectation of survival. Each member knows that even if they succeed, there will be no safe future waiting for them. Their goal is not freedom, but truth. As they move toward the facility, the CIA launches its full response. Loyal operatives, surveillance drones, and rapid response units are deployed. The former interns are forced into a series of violent encounters that test everything they were trained to do. Every fight feels personal, as they face people who share the same past but chose obedience over conscience. Loss becomes unavoidable. Some members of the group are eliminated before reaching their target. Their deaths are not dramatic or glorified. They are quiet, sudden, and permanent, reinforcing the film's harsh realism. Each loss pushes the remaining members forward, knowing that retreat would make those sacrifices meaningless. Inside the facility, the main character gains access to the central archive. She discovers proof that the program was never authorized through proper legal channels. It was built through secret funding, political manipulation, and fear-based justification. Even high-ranking officials were kept unaware of its true scale. The most disturbing revelation is that the program was designed to be self-sustaining. Every generation of interns was meant to eliminate the previous one if loyalty weakened. Betrayal was expected, planned for, and weaponized. The system survived by consuming its own creations. As security forces close in, the main character initiates the final phase of the plan. All classified data is released simultaneously to multiple global networks. Journalists, foreign intelligence agencies, and independent investigators receive undeniable evidence. The truth spreads faster than it can be contained. The CIA attempts damage control, but it is too late. Governments begin distancing themselves. Officials deny involvement. The secrecy that protected the internship for decades collapses in minutes. The world learns the cost of the silence it unknowingly supported. The final moments focus on the main character as she completes her mission. Whether she survives is left deliberately uncertain. The story does not offer a heroic escape or a clean victory. What matters is that the system is exposed, and its power is broken. The film ends on a cold, reflective note. The internship program is dismantled publicly, but the damage it caused cannot be undone. The former interns are remembered not as heroes or villains, but as proof of what happens when control replaces morality. The Internship, 2026, closes as a cautionary tale. It shows that systems built on secrecy and obedience eventually collapse under the weight of truth. The real victory is not survival, but exposure. And sometimes, destroying a lie costs everything.